Hey all. A few weeks ago, my lovely assistant tested my Beatles trivia knowledge, which was a big disappointment, honestly, for me, because I thought I'd get them all. But I'm a little more confident on Zeppelin than I was on Beatles. So we've got 25 questions?
Yes.
If you're one of those people that doesn't like my longer videos, turn this off now. Move on to something else, because it's going to be 15-ish minutes, right?
Sure.
Well, if I get them all right, it'll go 8 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
but I'm thinking it's going to go longer. So we're going to roll through some Zeppelin trivia, and I'll see how ashamed and embarrassed and humiliated I am in about 18 minutes. Go.
All right. Oh my God.
Okay, go.
25 questions.
25 questions.
Okay. What was the name of their post-released 1982 album that included previously unreleased material?
Post-released 1982 album?
I did not write these questions.
You're reading it just as it's written?
Reading it.
They're post-released.
What was the name of their post-released 1982 album that included previously unreleased material?
They're just asking for the name of the Coda album?
Yes, that's what they're asking.
The name of the Coda album is Coda.
In the movie, the song remains the same. Peter Grant berates an employee of Madison Square Garden because he has found someone in the arena doing this illegal
Selling
activity.
bloody pirate posters.
Yes.
Inside the building. That doesn't sound like his accent at all.
That's okay.
It doesn't really.
Where did the record-breaking gig... Okay. Where did the record-breaking gig take place in 1977?
Oh, the record-breaking one was at the Silver Dome in Pontiac,
Yes.
Michigan. 76,000 paid attendance for a single act.
God.
That was the record. Because they at the time they didn't have opening acts, so they were sort of automatically going to have the record for a single act. Zeppelin rigged the system. Rigged the record book.
What record label did Plant's single "If I Were a Carpenter" come out on in the UK?
Wait. In the UK?
In the UK.
Oh God.
What record label did Plant's single "If I Were a Carpenter" come out on?
In the UK. I mean, that was 1993. Is it a record label I've heard of?
I've never heard of it. That doesn't mean anything.
Esperanza, I have no idea. That was his
Fontana.
label. Fontana record. No, never heard of that. Well, I mean, I've heard of that, but I've never heard of the fact that...
Oh, what's a fact?
Fontana. Why would it have come out on Fontana?
I don't know.
Interesting. Okay, so that's one down.
Ask author Led Zeppeliner from the quiz
Hey,
Zepp Part 3, 4 symbols.
The big guard. Does it focus? Yeah, a little bit.
What's that?
Okay, next. Missed one. Oh, that hurts.
All right.
Missing one hurts.
On which album track did Jimmy Page first use a banjo?
I'm going to go with the Gallows Pole.
You are correct.
Yeah. Well, that implies that there was more than one. What was the next one with the banjo on it? After that, I have to think about it.
Oh yeah.
What would it be? Oh, nobody's fault but mine.
Are you ready?
Yes. Yes.
Credited with much technical mastery in the studio, what particular sound effect did Jimmy Page invent?
Well, he says, and he's probably right, the backwards echo is his invention. But, strangely enough, I think it appeared on Let It Bleed first, because Jimmy was working with, was it Glenn Johns or Andy Glenn, I think, on the first Zeppelin album. And he was saying, Johns was saying, "No, you can't do that." And Jimmy said, "Sure you can, I'll show you." And showed him how to do it. And then
Don't
Johns...
tell me what I can and can't do.
Exactly. Jones went over and was working on the Stones album, and he used it on "You Got the Silver." Toward the end of it, you can hear that where he stole the idea. But so I'm not sure which one came out first, but that was the thing Jimmy claimed.
Well, you
to
got
invent.
the answer that's indicated here.
That's good.
So that's good. Where was the first record of Led Zeppelin recorded?
The first record of Led Zeppelin.
I'm reading them just as they are.
The first one would have been Olympic.
Yes. This is too easy. September 25th, 1980 marks the date of what?
Oh gosh, I don't know. It's Bonham's last breath, unfortunately.
Yes. What was the...
I knew a guy up in Rochester, New York, who was another big Zeppelin fan. He had a desk calendar, and on the day, and this was like in the mid '90s, I guess, when we were still living there. And I was hanging out with him, and on his desk, it still was September 25th, 1980. He never changed it. Yes. Desk calendar.
Wow.
That still had that date. He's like, no, everything stopped, man.
That was a fan.
Yes. I liked him even more after that.
What was the working title for Kashmir?
Driving to Kashmir.
Driving through.
Oh, come on. I gotta
kidding.
get credit for
You
that.
got it. At which Led Zeppelin
It was about
concert?
golf.
At which Led Zeppelin concert did Peter have the aerial photographs of the crowd
Never.
sent to NASA? Yes.
I mean,
so they could give an
that's
accurate assessment.
technically
of the slides.
a misleading question, because it said which concert. They did two.
Oh.
But which concert site? It's never. So I'll give them that.
Did I mark that down? Next question. How many tickets were sold in total for Zeppelin's 5 nights at London's Earl's Court in 1975? You have choices to pick from.
Okay.
90,000, 80,000, 100,000, or 85,000?
5 nights, Earl's Court. Say it's 17. I'm gonna go with 85,000.
That is correct.
Yes.
Good guess.
And it was a guess. It's just a guess.
You used your reasoning.
My deductive reasoning.
Deductive reasoning.
Okay.
Call you Sherlock.
Okay.
Which band did a cover version? Oh, are we doing cover bands in these questions?
Well, I don't know. If I get it right, it counts. If I get it wrong, it doesn't count. What?
You want to hear it?
I guess.
Which band did a cover?
This is a parenthetical.
This may or may not count.
If it's too hard, it doesn't count.
Which band did a cover version of Whole Lotta Love in 1970, which became the theme tune to the program Top of the Pops?
It was that Alexis Corner All-Star thing, and they called themselves, what did they? It was some initials.
It was,
Yeah,
yes.
one of them was K.
No.
And one of them was not K at all.
Correct.
It was
Yeah.
far from K.
Far. Not
This
too
doesn't
far.
count
It's not
because that's
too
not a
far.
Zeppelin question. But it was Alexis Corner's All-Star band thing.
That part I don't know.
What was the name of the band?
CCS? What is that?
CCS. Creedence Clearwater Survival.
Survivor.
I don't know. That doesn't count.
No, it doesn't.
That's not a Zeppelin question.
All right. In 1977, Led
Yes.
Zeppelin played to over 76,000 people at one gig, which broke the record for a single band performance.
Yes.
Who did they take this record from?
Ooh, wow. Single band, single artist performance.
For
Well-
a single band performance.
It ain't the Beatles, because the Beatles always had openers. Wait a minute. They broke their own record. Ha! Trick question.
No.
You're talking about in the Silver Dome in Pontiac
It
in
doesn't,
'77.
doesn't give me... It
says
well, it
77.
has to be that one, yeah, because that was the other.
76,000.
Right.
Didn't they break their own record of
That's not what they're
Tampa in
saying.
'73? Well, what is it saying is the answer?
The answer is The Who. The Who broke the record in 75, which broke Led Zeppelin's old record set in 1973. So I guess Zeppelin had the record in 73. The Who broke it in 75, and then Led Zeppelin took it back in 1977.
But it doesn't say what Who show? Or
it doesn't say.
On the 75 tour, the Who didn't have an opening act?
I don't know.
We're going to put an asterisk on this one, and we're going to look it up after.
Oh, boy.
Well, I'm just surprised the Who didn't have an opening act in 75.
I don't know.
Okay.
Who sang Sandy Denny's part when the Battle of Evermore was played live?
It's John Paul Jones.
I think I could have answered
horrific.
that.
It's if you haven't heard it, look up Battle of Evermore live 1977 and listen to it on YouTube. It's so bad I can't believe it says a lot about Jimmy Page's state of mind and the state of health in 1977 that he allowed that to occur in front of an audience because it's so bad. Although Jimmy sang on Bron Your Stump and it was actually okay, so I don't know why Jimmy didn't sing it. And that's another okay, we're talking Zeppelin minute trivia here. In the earlier tour, 72, 73, when they did Bron Your Stump, and even at Earl's Court, Bonzo sang the harmony vocal and it sounded great. And then it got to 77, and evidently he didn't want to sing it anymore, and Jimmy did. So I don't know what the deal was. But yeah, Battle of Evermore, Jonesy, and it's embarrassing. So go. Now continue.
Are you done?
I'm done. Rant over.
Which of these songs did Led Zeppelin never perform live? Immigrant Song?
I know that one.
Since I've Been Loving You? Tangerine? Or Livin', Lovin' Maid, She's Just a Woman?
They didn't do that pile of garbage line. Thank God. It's bad.
Okay. This is a weird question. What was Strider?
That's it's more of Who was Strider. It's Robert's dog.
Yes, it is. You knew that?
Well, at the end of Bron Your Stump in 77, he would even say Strider. But yeah, it was about that. That's remember we were talking about that. It's not Bron Your Stump is not a love song about a person. It's a song about a dog.
There's no greater love between a man and his dog.
These are the things that James and his wife talk about at home.
These are things that James
Hey, Jackie, did you know that Bron Your
Stump on about?
Yes. Yeah, we don't talk about them. I talk about them, and she has ears, so that counts as a conversation.
I nod and smile. And I throw in a couple.
But
yeah.
You could probably answer some of these trivia questions just from osmosis.
Yes.
Yeah.
On the 1977 Led Zeppelin tour of America, Peter,
Yes, I remember it.
John Bindon, and John Bonham were arrested for what incident?
Beating pretty severely one of Bill Graham's security guys in Oakland. An ugly, ugly episode in the band's history, that's for sure.
Alright, here's one I don't know that you'll get. In the 1970s...
We'll skip it.
No, I'm going in order. In the 1970s, about which guitarist was Jimmy quoted as saying, "He is my all-time favorite. He's a real dream weaver"?
Well, Jimmy's favorite guitar player is Les Paul himself. He'll say Scotty Moore.
Nope.
Jeff Beck.
Nope.
Wait. What?
I'm just saying.
So read the question again.
In the 1970s, about which guitarist was Jimmy quoted as saying, "He is my all-time favorite. He's a real dream weaver"?
My all-time favorite.
That's what he said.
I don't know it then.
Bert Jansch?
Oh, Bert Jansch. But okay. That's not his favorite guitar player, though.
I know.
Jimmy, come on. I'm appealing to Jimmy on this one.
Tell that to Zosimos, who wrote that question. Next one. Which of these 60s singles did Jimmy Page not play on?
Oh, boy.
Someday by Jimmy Tarbuck. The Last Goodbye by Chris Farlow. So Much in Love by Charles Dickens.
Chris Farlow, star of Tommy Boy.
Yes.
Now, Chris Farlow, I'm sure he's a wonderful guy, and I'm sure over in the UK and Europe he's popular and everything. I just have never got the whole Chris Farlow thing. I can't stand that voice. I
Farley,
hate
you mean? No, who
Chris
am I talking
Farlow.
about?
You're talking about Chris Farley. I'm talking about Chris Farlow.
Because he's great.
Now keep going. What are the...
The last one, 2525 by Zager and Evans.
I don't think Jimmy played on 2525. That's my answer.
That is correct.
In the year 2520. You know that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whew. Thank God you know that. I just didn't think you'd know it.
All right. Stairway to Heaven was a very popular song for Led Zeppelin.
Stairway to what?
Yeah. What was
It's a hummable tune, I guess.
What was unusual about this song?
Seriously?
Yeah.
That's the question? Because I
Yes.
could name a bunch of things.
I
Okay,
know.
one, that the tempo accelerates, which is pretty unusual. How long it was pretty unusual.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for Zeppelin, it had recorders in it, which was pretty unusual.
Mm-hmm.
Read it again? What's
Stairway to Heaven was a very, very popular song for Led Zeppelin. What was unusual about this song?
I mean, it wasn't released as a single.
That's what I'm looking for.
Most of Zeppelin songs were not released as singles. Does that make them unusual? I don't. Whatever.
So
But I'll take
unusual.
credit for it, as I always do. How many is that?
That's 18.
3 wrong? I'm
3 wrong.
15 up, 3 down. Okay. Okay, 7 more. See, we're at 17 minutes, folks.
Ugh.
Keep going. Roll.
No one's listening.
Okay.
Led Zeppelin toured with this famous band on their first
American.
It's
pronounced American.
Led Zeppelin toured with this famous band on their first American tour. Who are they?
That's Vanilla Fudge.
Yes.
Who are they? Who am I?
How many singles were released?
You're not going to laugh at my Breakfast Club
I'm
reference?
trying to keep this moving.
Keep going.
How many singles were released as...
How many singles?
These are written... The grammar on these is terrible. We're skipping the
Wait,
question.
you're reading questions from the internet and the grammar is bad?
I don't understand how that can be.
What planet did I wake up on today?
All right. Okay.
Well, is it something I can understand, or should we skip it?
I'm skipping it. Which of these statements is true? Led Zeppelin is not in the Guinness Book of World Records. The band got their name from graffiti on a wall in Bath, England.
That's not true.
Led Zeppelin
You don't need
has
to go any
8
further.
studio albums.
That's not true.
Oh.
This is when it gets good, folks. After the 18-minute mark. What did you read it as? Go
I said
ahead.
which is not true, didn't I?
You said which is not true, right?
Yeah. Which is true.
That's okay, honey. It's only the opposite of what you wanted to say. All right, we're skipping that. Just move on.
Oh my god.
Oh my
Are
dog.
we done yet?
Go.
In which year did Jimmy Page and Robert Plant do the MTV Unplugged show?
In which year did they do it?
Mm-hmm.
That's 1990. They taped it in August of 94. Are they asking when did they record it or when did it air?
It just says do.
Okay, hold on. Was that 94 or 95 is really the question. 94.
The clock is ticking.
94.
Yes, 94.
Because the tour was 95. Right, yeah. Okay.
What does Page's symbol, Zoso, mean?
You can call him Jimmy. What does it mean? It means, well, he's never really said what it means. Is that the answer?
No official explanation.
Oh, God. Okay. All right, well, that's an answer,
Moving
I suppose.
What song from the Physical Graffiti album did singer Robert Plant at one time refuse to perform?
He refused to perform In My Time of Dying.
Yes.
For a little while. He got over that pretty quickly, though.
What song from Led Zeppelin 3 features Jimmy Page on banjo? Is that your final answer?
Immigrant Song.
Yes.
That's my final answer.
All right. 5, 10, 15, 20.
Since I've
Two more questions.
Yes, okay.
2
more.
Some of these are so weird.
This is going to be a record for my longest video.
I'm going to have to edit this down. What was the name of the house Jimmy Page purchased in 1970?
Boleskine House.
Yeah.
I don't know how you pronounce that. But that's my
I knew.
attempt. It burned down a few years ago, sadly.
Did it?
Yeah, it's just it was completely gutted out. It's that one that's on Loch Ness.
I'm having to skip over a bunch of questions because, like, this is the question. Day stand kung fu's. What is that?
Dazed and confused.
Oh, that is
But
the
is it-
answer.
Yeah, but that's a question?
That's the question. Maybe it's like Miss... whatever. Alright, last question is this. What does...
Last question. Last question, you get your lives back.
Yeah. What does Bronyar...
So does my lovely assistant.
Yeah. What does Bronyar
Golden breast.
translate to?
It is
plural
called this
or single?
because of the way the sun comes over the mountain.
You got it right. So you got 3 wrong out of 25.
3 wrong.
Yeah. Well, there's an asterisk
That
on
was
one.
really... Well, then give me a bonus question.
Oh, God. Did that come?
You're enjoying
Did I
it
say
so
that
much.
out loud?
Yes, you did.
Okay.
It's a sigh of disappointment that I get a lot.
Oh, here you go. Who owned the studios where In Through the Outdoor was recorded?
ABBA, Polish Studio.
Yes, you know
In
that.
Stockholm, Sweden.
Okay.
You didn't think I'd know an ABBA? I know more ABBA trivia than I do.
Oh, God. I don't think I can find
So,
enough ABBA questions.
coming next month, ABBA trivia.
Coming to a computer near you.
To a YouTube near you. Okay, so that is now. I'm disappointed I didn't get them all, but I feel pretty good.
You did good.
I don't even remember the ones I missed, but they were probably.
They were stupid.
What was John Bonham's first solo single after the band broke up?
Exactly.
All right, we're gonna call that a success. Until next month. So long.